Welcome to day 4, people.
Day 4.
Day 4. We're tired.
Bright and early.
We slept a little in today.
Slept in a little half hour extra, so there you go.
Yeah. So we got on the road at about 8:18, and it's 8:28 right now.
But I was sharing with Lori that we're retired, so there is no schedule. It's our time unless we have reservations someplace that we have to be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, perfect timing.
So we're we're heading towards Kansas City. So we just stayed in Platte City, Missouri.
Suburb, I guess.
Yeah, it's near the airport. And is that focusing? There it goes. And we're just in a couple of minutes, we're going to be getting closer to Kansas City. It looks like there might be a little bit of traffic. It looks like there's a 6-minute delay. So anyways, it was raining on and off yesterday. We had some good rain, as you saw earlier in the video. And it's just overcast today. Are we supposed to get any rain? Any?
I don't know.
We didn't check, but it sure looks like it could. So we appreciate your prayers for safety and for the car running well. So far, so good, and we're just praise God for that. And we'll check in with you a little bit, honey. Yeah, day 4. So we're going from here to Tennessee.
We're going to end up in Clarksville, Tennessee. That's our next stop, and then our next day, we're going to arrive.
Yeah, we'll have about a 4-hour drive from Clarksville into Blounteville. So today we arrive in Tennessee. So come along with us. Okay, we're in some downtown Kansas City traffic, but we thought we'd show you this really cool bridge. Look at that. For those of you who have been in Kansas City, you've probably seen this, no big deal. But for us, it's pretty interesting. Beautiful.
I don't know what that stadium thing is.
Oh yeah, there's a stadium over there. And yes, it's raining.
These look like the cables on the
And then it goes over the...
They look like the cables on the San Francisco Bridge.
Yeah.
What engineer thought of that?
Pretty cool. Yeah, and there's the stadium. Nice stadium. Kind of gray, so I know it's hard to see. We just went over some river. I don't know what it is. I'll have to look and see. The CPKC Stadium. CPKC.
I'm guessing KC is Kansas City, but I don't know what CP is.
And then you can see very blurry in the background, the downtown high-rises over there in Kansas City. And we're expecting about a 6-minute delay here, and then we'll be off and running. That's super good. Order milk. Thank you. That. Okay. Get my other glasses on because I can't really see.
We're recording.
Oh. Oh, hello.
Well,
Hey, what are you doing there?
Yeah, as it turns out, we stopped at a McDonald's in Missouri, just outside of Kansas City, and gas prices were $2.89. So I guess you got to come to Missouri to get below $3. Maybe there's other places, but at least that.
Yes, we'll keep you abreast of how far of a commute you need to come in order to get under $3 for gas. People are very nice here. We were experiencing a lot of rain, so we didn't record anything for a while. And there's flood warnings.
Flood warnings ahead of us.
Yeah, so yeah, we're a little wet.
There's worse things.
Yes, yes. But we're excited about the gas prices. But we're doing pretty good. We're getting good gas mileage, right, honey?
Yeah. We're getting between 20 and 24, depending on. Like yesterday, I think we got 24 miles a gallon. We were just in Nebraska, just on open highways for the majority of the day.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for following along with us. We don't really have a whole lot to say, do we, honey?
Nope.
We're not very exciting.
Not much to say today.
Wonder if this remote will work.
Try it.
No.
Yeah, I can hear it clicking, but nothing.
Just the reason the remote is good is because my seatbelt keeps me from going forward. All right, well, we thought we'd give you an update. We started doing some research, and one of the things we found out was that I had done a previous report on the 8 best states to retire, and that was on U.S. News Report of 2023. Well, as of 2024, a couple of states have added themselves to the list of states that don't tax your retirement income. So now remember, your retirement income can be your Social Security, it can be your pensions, and it can also be whatever retirement income that you have coming in from, say, CDs, 401ks, things like that. Okay. So anyways, in 2024, the list has gone from 8 to 13. So that's interesting. So let's see if there's any states that have been added to the list that we should be considering. So these are not necessarily in any order. They're just listed here. So we start out with Alaska. So Alaska was on the previous list. It's still on this list. And I excluded Alaska. Why do you think we excluded Alaska?
Probably temperature.
Probably the weather. So remember, the two initial things that we looked at as far as retirement is concerned is, first of all, the tax situation in any given state, because it's different in each state. And then the second qualifier was weather. Now we have a whole bunch of other qualifiers after that, but those were the first two initial that just helped us narrow down the field. So this is what we do. We look at the tax base and then we look at the weather. So Alaska was on the list, but I think that's pretty obvious for some. I think for some people, they probably think Alaska would be great, especially if you're like a hunter and a fisherman and you just really love all the weather and the snow and snowmobiling. That'd be great for you, but it's just not for us. The next one, I kind of like go from one extreme to the other, is Florida. So Alaska has that extreme cold. Florida has extreme heat. So we ixnayed Florida because of the humidity, huh?
Humidity and the mosquitoes.
The mosquitoes and bugs. Yeah, lots of big bugs. Our son went to school there, so we understand Florida. We have a family member there, but even so, Florida is just too humid. The next one, and this is a new one, is Illinois. Now, I grew up in Wisconsin. My grandparents were in Illinois, so I know really well. I was born in Illinois. But Illinois and Wisconsin, very similar weather. You're going to have a lot of those really cold winters. I remember a lot of people used to retire from Wisconsin and Illinois. They used to go to Arizona, because their arthritis would bother them or whatever. It's so the doctors would all say, you got to get out of the cold, go to the warm weather in Arizona. But what do you think about Illinois as a new member to the list?
No. Winters.
Okay. Winters. Next one, a new one on the list, is Iowa. What do you think about Iowa?
A lot of corn, but the weather is probably
the weather again.
Similar.
It always comes down to the weather. We really don't want like a serious winter, right? We don't mind a little snow, but we don't want a long snow-filled winter.
Yeah, we're not really excited about seeing a snowplow.
Yeah. So I know that some people, I'm sure Iowa is beautiful, and these states are, Illinois, all these states are beautiful that have beautiful snow. I grew up in it. I understand it. It's lovely. But we just don't want it for ourselves. So it might be great for you, but just for us, we're kind of trying to avoid heavy winters. So next on the list this is a new one on the list. Again, kind of the opposite from Iowa, is Mississippi. So what do you think about Mississippi?
The humidity you cut with a knife.
I think it's like Florida, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mississippi
is a beautiful state. It's green. Goes down to the Gulf.
Yeah. And the cost of living is probably really good.
Sure.
Yeah, but I just can't take humidity.
If humidity isn't an issue for you,
yeah,
then it might be a great place to
just
retire.
like Florida.
Right.
Just some of those places, lower cost of living, although Florida prices have really gone up, but Mississippi might be a good, lower cost of living, but I just can't take the extreme heat and mostly that humidity. So next on the list is Nevada, which was on the list before, and we traveled through Nevada this time, and it was quite beautiful. I was really impressed with it. I had been to Reno and that's it. Never went any further. Nevada was lovely. But again, they do get those extreme winters. So what do you think about Nevada?
No. If you have northern Nevada, is snowed, extreme winters, and southern Nevada, down by Las Vegas, is crazy hot.
Yeah, so you've really got extremes, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't like all the casinos. I just don't like the environment.
And there may be places in Nevada to retire that we just don't know about.
Yeah.
That could be in between the two extremes. That may be just fine.
But I just don't like all the casinos, and everywhere you go, there's a slot machine.
Yeah.
And it's just not me. For people who like to gamble, this might be the perfect state for you. Worth considering, for those that like to gamble. It's just not what we like to do in our spare time. Next on newcomer to the list is Pennsylvania. I used to travel through Pennsylvania from Wisconsin going to Rhode Island every summer. And I just remember Pennsylvania being so beautiful. Absolutely beautiful state. But again, the winter. So our second qualifier seems to knock things off the list. So then another state that was on the list was South Dakota. So South Dakota, I've looked into it extensively because I was really impressed with how they handled things during the pandemic. But it's extreme as far as the weather is concerned as well. The snow. So beautiful state, probably lower cost of living, good fiscal stability, but we're going to try another state before South Dakota. Next on the list, which was on the list before, which is where we're headed to today, is Tennessee. So one of the reasons we lean towards Tennessee, because it's one of the few on the list that has more moderate temperatures. They don't have the extremes. They don't have the extreme humidity. Yes, they have humidity, but they don't have extreme humidity. They don't have extreme winters. They're just more the four seasons, and you're hitting them kind of just moderate throughout the year. And you have the beauty of all four seasons, but it's moderate.
And it depends on where you live in Tennessee, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Memphis is higher in humidity. Down south is higher when it gets close to Georgia border.
Yeah.
That area is high in humidity.
And they do have tornadoes in Tennessee, but there's more tornadoes supposedly in the western and southern portion. And we're looking at the northeast portion. So they do have tornado warnings there. I lived with that when I lived in Wisconsin. So I'm used to tornadoes, and all the homes tend to have basements and places to shelter. But again, it's not in Tornado Alley. Okay. So another one that was on the list is Texas. So we did look at Texas very closely because all of our family that's not in California is in Texas.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We, and like my sister and my brother are there. Your side of the family, most of your family is there.
Yep. A lot of cousins and uncles there.
Yeah. So our kids were born in the Arlington, Texas. So we know Texas really well. I went there for college, and that's where Mike and I met. You were born in Texas, so we know Texas really well. So we looked at it really carefully. The weather is a little more extreme than, say, Tennessee, but it's still maybe more moderate than as far as Florida would be concerned, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But the reason we didn't make Texas as our first place to visit was because of the property taxes and the insurance on your home. It used to not be a big deal for you to have high property taxes. Texas has one of the higher property taxes in the United States. It used to not be a big deal because your house was not that expensive. Now, during the pandemic, the prices really got super high. They don't tax your income. So for a lot of people, they escaped, I think, to Texas, both just for the politics, but also they don't tax your income. Well, when you're at, high earning income age of, 40 or 50 years old, that's just fantastic. But they make it up in the property taxes. And then your homeowner's policies are usually
There's an object on road ahead.
Object on the road. Are usually, it's right in the middle, bunch of tires. So, so Texas is, for some reason, their insurance rates are really high. And, so you combine that with the property taxes and it's almost like a house payment. So even if you pay cash for your house, your insurance and your taxes on your home are high. So we decided we just couldn't afford it. It was like a house payment, just for those two things. Next on the list, we have two remaining, and it was on here before, was the state of Washington. Why don't we want to go to Washington?
The weather.
The weather. Beautiful state. I've actually never been to Washington, but I've seen pictures. Coastal, I've just seen really beautiful things. They've got the beautiful coastline. The weather, it's just too cold. And the final state is Wyoming, which we just got through traveling.
Yeah.
And we liked Wyoming. It was very interesting.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was very pretty. We enjoyed that. But again, I think just the weather.
Just the winters.
The winters.
Yeah.
Winters are just too challenging. So anyways, that's the 13 states that don't tax your retirement income. And as you can see, if you use just those two qualifiers, and if you're looking for moderate type weather, there's really only one state that stands out, which is Tennessee. And even at that, you might want to choose, say, the northeast portion of Tennessee, although I kind of want to keep it a secret so prices don't go up.
Yeah.
Although they've gone up a little, but kind of want to keep it a secret, so don't tell anyone.
Keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself. We also were traveling through Missouri. We actually did look at Missouri, and Missouri, as of 2024, has been added to the list of states that don't tax your Social Security or your public pension. Your public pension, they don't tax. So that's been added to the states as of 2024. So that's brand new. And then are you curious to know of the remaining states? If you live in one of these states, you can expect to pay taxes on your Social Security benefits. There's only a few really. And that's Colorado, Connecticut, Kansas, Minnesota, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, New Mexico, Rhode Island, Utah, and Vermont. So you will pay taxes on your Social Security there. So anyways, hope this was helpful. Can you reach the button?
Got it. See you later.
Hey, honey.
Hey, sugar.
Let's go have some barbecue.
Let's go have some barbecue. We hear they got fried okra.
Fried okra at Bandana's. And it's raining. Cute. Struggling. Well, I'm not feeling really confident, but because it's a chain barbecue restaurant, we really would prefer to have like some mom and pop barbecue place, but we wanted to be right off the freeway. And so, anyways.
It's pouring down rain, so not a lot of time to look for maybe a more little small place.
Yeah, but it has a whole bunch of different sauces. And we thought, since we're in St. Louis, we should try barbecue.
Yeah.
But start off with the tea's bad.
Yeah, tea's bad.
Ugh.
You would think that you couldn't mess up tea, but it's probably just the brand that they use
Yeah,
from their vendor.
yeah. And you ordered the pork sandwich with potato salad. And I got burnt ends, which I've never had, and pork combo lunch with fried okra and the corn on the cob. So
we'll see how it shakes out.
So here's the corn and the okra and the burnt ends and the pork, and you got a sandwich.
Whole pork.
All right.
Okay, let's go for it. Thank you, dear.
I love fried okra. People right now are going, what? But fried okra is delicious. You try yours while I do this.
Very good. A little burnt. Yeah.
You know you're in a barbecue joint when they're paper towels. Yeah? Is it okay? Is it barbecue sauce sweet?
Sweet.
Okay. Well, that fried okra was delicious. Just like it's supposed to be. I've never had burnt ends. Hot.
We grew up with fried okra.
Uh-huh.
Because my mother was a gardener. The only difference, when we had fried okra, which a lot of people think is gross, is there was potatoes and onions.
Oh, right, mixing it too.
In it all together. Yeah. Good though.
Yeah, that's good. All right, let's dig in. Because we want to thank you for praying for us. We just came through downtown St. Louis in a torrential rain.
A downpour like I haven't seen maybe once or twice, maybe 3 times in my lifetime.
Yeah, we're a little stressed out. I think the raindrops were the size of golf balls. Anyways, it was a highly trafficked area right there in downtown, and so there was a lot of cars. We were on a 3-lane highway. We were in the far left lane by the concrete meridian, and there was a small pickup in front of us, and it hydroplaned first. And then hit the concrete meridian. Hit the concrete wall, then spun sideways and went across the freeway. Went across the middle lane, which next to us was a semi truck. It missed that truck, I don't know, just by inches. I think that guy must have, wet his pants. Because it spun in front of us and then into the middle lane and missed him just by a few inches. Ended up past the final slow lane on the right, and ended up in the what's that?
Hit the guardrail.
Hit the guardrail. Yeah.
Ended up in the shoulder.
And ended up in the shoulder, facing the wrong direction, with his kind of the rear of his truck just a little bit into that slow lane. So we just making this really quick. Thank you, because so many of you have let us know that you're praying for us and for our road trip, and
amen.
Thank you. Yeah, it was interesting because just a few seconds before that, I just kind of started praying out loud because it was really, really dangerous. And there really wasn't anywhere to go. You think just get off the freeway, but you're there, this huge downpour, and then all of a sudden there's this, obviously a big puddle or something in this truck. We were all going very slowly,
Yeah.
And I was just like saying the name of Jesus out loud. I was just like, Jesus, 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 Jesus. Oh, help us, Jesus. And, yeah, that truck just as easily could have bounced and come right at us or hit the truck next to us and caused a huge accident. I'm trusting and hoping that that guy missed all those vehicles and ended up on the side of the road, and everyone was going slow enough that they could just stop and it didn't cause some huge pileup. But if anybody panicked and saw that truck suddenly facing them the wrong way, they could have just panicked and nobody could slow down if they were going too fast in that terrible slippery road. So anyways, when we say thank you for your prayers, we really mean it.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah. So Michael did a great job driving.
God was driving. I was just holding on to the steering.
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, and then, about 20 minutes later, we're driving down the road kind of that we're on now. It's just a 2-lane highway. The rain had, we had driven away from the rain by then. It's still raining back there. It's like black clouds back there. And we come upon a fifth wheel and a truck driven by what to me looked like a senior citizen couple. And they had a tire. The very back tire was almost completely flat. Do you think it was flat?
Yeah, no, it was
It was
flat.
completely flat. And you say there were other...
Oh, he had a double axle, and so he didn't know that the rear tire was flat.
Yeah. So he may not have been feeling that, but we rolled down the window and motioned to him, you have a flat tire, pull over immediately. So I was surprised that nobody else told him to pull over and stop, because that could have been a very dangerous situation for that couple. So your prayers help them too. Another senior couple headed to Tennessee in the rain. Okay, well, thanks everybody. I can't reach it, Penny.